Hi, my name's Amanda. I'm a coach and a channel, and welcome to a new weekly series called The Invitation, where every single week, Spirit and I invite you into a conversation with us to begin questioning your belief systems. We all have this small little voice inside of us that all throughout our day is talking to us. It's telling us what to think, how to feel, how we should be showing up, what's possible for us, what we should and should not be doing. And without realizing it, this voice speaks to us according to the belief systems we carry. And it ends up determining how we feel all day, every day, what opportunities we perceive in the world, whether or not we can believe in ourselves, whether or not we should be taking certain action. And as a byproduct, it ends up determining our entire reality and the entire life that we experience on this planet. And it is only by becoming aware of that voice and which belief systems it's buying into and which ones it's not, that we can begin to acknowledge what we think and begin to adjust what we think and what we believe, and then change our entire reality as a byproduct. And so this series really invites you to begin acknowledging that there are certain belief systems that you might be carrying that you didn't realize were there, and allowing you to see them differently. And in perceiving them differently, being able to question your thoughts and change your entire life in ways that maybe you didn't realize were possible or available to you before doing this or before engaging this kind of an activity. And today, what we're going to be talking about is this very, very small belief system that is so subtle, but that I think so many of us carry, that we need to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. And it's not just about how can I achieve this goal? How can I change this circumstance? It's how can I do it as fast as possible? It's not enough to lose weight. I have to lose weight quickly. It's not enough to get stronger and put on muscle and change my physique. I have to do it quickly. It's not enough to find my partner. I have to do it quickly. I have to get it now. It's not enough to build my business. I have to do it as fast as possible. I have to build. I have to scale. There's always this need to rush into to get there fast. And so I want to see what Spirit has to say about that today and why we believe that. Like, what is the fear in doing it slow? And how can we begin to see things a little differently and begin to question whether or not that speed, the need for speed, is needed or is within our best interest? So just give me a sec. I'm going to tune in and see what they want to share with us today. They're saying this need to get from point A to point B as fast as possible comes from this idea that if we can't get there quickly, we can't get there at all. That there's this underlying belief system or thought that we need evidence that we're making forward progress. And if we don't have that evidence quickly, like give it to me now, let me see it, we feel like we're not moving. We feel like we're staying still, like we're being stagnant. And that is ultimately what we fear most, is continuing to exist inside of a world, inside of a reality or experience where we don't feel comfortable being ourselves, where we don't feel comfortable being this version of who we are. And without that evidence that things are changing, that goal, that end point that we're trying to move towards, without evidence that it's coming, we freak out. And we try as many different things and ways as possible to achieve that evidence for ourselves, because the worst case scenario is not having it. The worst case scenario is feeling like it's not coming, like we're never getting there, and having to settle with who we are now. And that is ultimately what we're trying to avoid the most, is continuing to exist inside of this version of ourselves. And that is ultimately what they want to dig a little deeper into right now, is what is so scary about continuing to live as this version of ourselves. Because what they want to highlight is that it's not this version of you that's the problem. It is your idea that this version of you is the problem that's the problem. So getting from point A to point B isn't going to change who you are. It's going to change your perception of who you are. And it's that perception that's telling you that change isn't even needed, that this version of you isn't good enough, can't feel a certain way, isn't worthy of love or worthy of like admiration or worthy of feeling pride. And unless you have some sort of external indicator that those feelings are warranted and allowed and that you can receive them and feel them, then you don't feel like you're worthy of it. Like you can access those experiences of you, that this version of you is capable of seeing you that way. And you so desperately want to experience you differently that it's important for you to get there fast so that you no longer have to exist inside of a state where experiences aren't accessible or available to you. Because the worst case scenario is coming to the realization that you don't have that possibility or potential available for you, that it's never going to be available for you. And what they want to point out is that it's not the external world that is giving you permission to see you a certain way. You are allowing it to give you that permission. Can you feel completely and fully deserving of love until you find your partner? If the answer is yes, then you don't need to find your partner. You don't need to find them. You can desire to find them, but you don't need to. And there's no longer this fear of not getting it and this feeling like this pressure to make it happen faster. If you fully felt like completely like so completely proud of yourself and that you don't even need the validation of anybody, that you are intelligent and successful and like worth listening to or worth like investing time or effort in. And if you truly felt like at ease inside of yourself from that vantage point, then you wouldn't need evidence from other people that it's okay to feel those things, whether it be through financial success or professional success or some sort of like physical accomplishment of some sort. You wouldn't need it. You could still work towards it because it feels fun to work towards something, to enjoy a challenge, to enjoy the process of becoming. But you wouldn't need to access it because you already have that accessibility available to you. And that is ultimately where this do or die, I need to get there fast is coming from. They're saying it's coming from a need to perceive you in a certain way so that you could feel something differently inside of who you are. And that stems from a belief system that you're carrying that those feelings or expression of you is not already available. What else would you like to say about this? So, what do we do about this? They're saying, well, that ultimately comes down to your desire to begin to perceive you and your existence through a new light. There is something worth experiencing inside of getting to a destination that you've never gotten to before. Because to be able to accomplish something worth celebrating, they want to validate that that is an incredible thing to want for yourself and to never stop dreaming and to never stop working towards achieving something. That is ultimately not what they're saying. What they're saying is the need for it and the need to get there as quickly as possible is different from the desire to accomplish it or the desire to experience it. Both can exist independently of one another. They don't have to be one and the same. They're saying the vast majority of you desire to experience something differently, something different, because you enjoy the prospect of having that experience. Like the anticipation of something different is what keeps you going. And they're saying the faster that you get there, the faster it's not that you get to experience it sooner, it's that you get to experience the possibility of it sooner. I know where they're going with this. Whoa. What they want you to recognize is that when you get from point A to point B and you get there and you did it quickly and you're really happy about it, you withhold a lot of the time what you were actually doing it for, which is to feel differently inside of who you are. Because you get there and maybe you let yourself celebrate you for a little bit, or maybe you don't. Maybe you withhold a lot of that pride and satisfaction and keep it sort of at arm's length. And now you're like, well, now what else can I do? And there's always this future pacing and like moving goalpost of, well, now I need to get there, and now I need to get there, and now I need to get there. So when you get there quickly, you're not getting there quicker. You're getting to the possibility of there, because the there is an idea that you never allow yourself to access. It's a reality that you always keep at arm's length. And so trying to get someplace quickly isn't actually getting you there faster. It's the perception of getting there faster. But where you're trying to get isn't a physical destination. They're saying it's a spiritual one. It's a way of experiencing the depths of who you are that you're ultimately seeking. And when you take your time to recognize that, then you realize that it's not like the idea of there is an illusion. There is no there. There's only here. Because what you experience is inside, it's not outside. And the destination, like the physical destination, whether it's an accomplishment or let's call it an accomplishment, like you accomplish it. Oh, do you accomplish it outside of you? You accomplish some aspect of it outside of you because you are interacting with your physical environment and that takes place outside of you, but you experience that accomplishment internally. So it's moving there with you. Like there is no there out there. It's only experienced in here to a certain degree. You allow the out there to impact the in here, but ultimately the experience is taking place in here. So when you're trying to get there, you're trying to get to an experience of you that you believe will allow you to see you and feel you differently. And you believe that the sooner you get there, the better, because you finally have evidence that a reality is possible for you and that you get to experience it now, and you no longer have to experience you in the same way that you have been, which has probably been one that has been creating pain and discomfort. But it's all a perspective. It's all perspective. And they're saying what it comes down to is realizing this, what they're trying to relay to you today, and beginning to offer it to yourself now, beginning to question, do I need that thing in order to believe this about myself? Do I need to have that relationship in order to feel a certain degree of love and compassion and acceptance and devotion inside of me? Do I need to accomplish X in my line of work in order to feel proud and accomplished and fulfilled and like seen and validated and celebrated and like looked up to? Do I need to change my physical body in order to feel desired or desirable or like beautiful or sexy or strong or powerful? No, you don't need any of those things. And that is ultimately what you need to begin to identify and learn how to offer for you. And when you can offer those things to you anytime you want to, because you just feel them, like they were never under question, then things outside of you sort of lose their appeal, not in a way where you start to feel like you're just a bump on a log and you don't have any motivation to do anything. Your motivation is coming from a completely different place. It's coming from a place of already feeling fulfilled. And so it is just elevating and amplifying that feeling. And there's no longer a rush to get there because you realize that there is already here. And the experience of becoming, of getting to that destination becomes enjoyable, becomes filled with intrigue and excitement and love and playfulness and curiosity. And the challenge becomes one that you enjoy rather than one that you resent. And the process becomes easier. And as a byproduct, maybe you even get there faster because you experience less resistance along the way. Cool. Anything else you'd like to add to this today? They're saying they want to invite you into an experience of this. How so? Whenever you're desiring to move at a faster pace, question whether or not that pace is going to allow you to facilitate the end result in a different way. Like, are you going to be able to feel it better, feel it stronger, feel it sooner? Or is that just a perspective that you're holding that is forcing you to move at a pace that might not feel comfortable and might not be as effective or efficient at ultimately getting there at all? And allowing that to become something that you do regularly because you'll notice that this pattern shows up a lot more than you realize. And they're just reminding me this morning I had to drive somewhere and I wanted to get there and back as fast as possible. I didn't need to. I had no necessarily thing waiting for me to when I get back that I had to do by a certain time, but I just felt this panic, this rush that I had to get home quickly. And so it can happen in very subtle ways all day long, unless we're paying attention. I would love to hear your feedback on this. This was really, really interesting. A really simple idea, but so well articulated, and something that I think is going to shed a lot of light on so many of our desire to get things done quickly without necessarily recognizing that we're needing that or understanding why. I would love to hear your feedback on this video. Leave a comment below, like and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to receive more of this content. And I'll see you next week in the next episode of The Invitation. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.